Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. Tuesday, our guest today, including Ross Tucker, standing by, brought to you by the Waddling Dog Pub. The 2019 and 2020 number one pub in Victoria invites you to come see why they are a local favorite watering hole. Located 10 minutes from the ferry, the Waddling Dog Pub is the place to be to catch every Canucks game, the place to root on the Seahawks, and a place to unwind with one of their 19 taps of both domestic and locally crafted beer, wine, and cider. A daily happy hour from 4 to 6, brunch from 11 to 2, and a fully stocked liquor store attached. There are countless reasons to come, sit, and stay at the Waddling Dog Pub. As we bring in Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast and Westwood One. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that, Ross. How are you?
Yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Doing great. Good to talk with you guys.
Okay, something a little Christmassy here before we get into Ben Roethlisberger and everything NFL. This is still NFL. But you retweeted a photo of a fan who received a Buffalo Bills number 65 Ross Tucker jersey as a Christmas gift. Are you somebody who collected memorabilia throughout your football career? Do you have your old jerseys, that sort of thing?
So, okay, this is a good topic. So I grew up, I was huge into getting autographs and stuff. So I have so many autographs, or had at least, when I was younger. And then while I was in the NFL, my first year, I had Darrell Green and Bruce Smith in Washington, a pair of future Hall of Famers. I had them sign a ball for me. And I think the next year, Emmitt Smith actually gave us stuff when we were with the Dallas Cowboys, including a signed frame jersey, which was a nice gift from Emmitt. But honestly, after that, I played for so many teams. You can see behind me the helmets, the game balls. I've got the jerseys over there. I have enough of my own stuff. The last thing I wanted was anybody else's stuff. So I've got my high school jersey, my college jersey, my helmets, and all the NFL teams I played for, but nobody else's stuff. I don't care about, what do I care about other people? Emmitt Smith. I sold the Emmitt Smith thing. I sold all my autographs from when I was little. My wife and I were moving into a townhouse. She's like, get rid of this stuff. What is this? So unless it says Tucker on it, it's gone.
Do you have your Tucker Bills jersey?
I do. Yes,
okay.
I have it framed. So where I am right now talking with you guys, I'm in my home studio. Right next to me is my exercise room, and I have the framed Bills jersey over there. But the jerseys we wore when I was there were like the worst jerseys the Bills have ever worn. I mean, they were not good-looking jersey. They were like a navy. It was not a great look for the Bills. So that's why I was jealous of the guy whose wife got him a 65 Tucker jersey, because it's like the new Bills uniform. It's like a current. I don't have that. I have my jersey from 2003, 2004, 2005.
Yeah, 14 Shades of Blue. I remember those. They weren't great. Hey, I know you tweeted about this, Ross. What's your level of concern when it comes to Antonio Brown's mental health?
Yeah, I mean, as high as you can have, I guess. I said this probably 3 years ago, certainly over 2 years ago. His behavior went well past a prima donna or a diva wide receiver, whatever you want to call it. He passed that a long time ago. And I'm sure some people have tried to get him help. I don't know if he's taken any of them up on it. I don't know if he's actually tried to get any help himself or accepted any. But the behavior is too erratic. It's too unpredictable. It's just not something that someone of right mind would do, in my mind. Even after everything had happened on Sunday, I see this picture where he's just smiling and so happy, and it's I'm very concerned, and I would like to think that he has friends and or family members that are feeling the same way. It certainly felt like that's how Tom Brady feels.
Yeah.
Hey, Ross, the Bengals, I think you tweeted, I think you finished, they were going to finish last in the AFC North. No one expected this. Did they? I mean, what a huge win over Kansas City, worst team in the league 2 years ago. What about the Bengals? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so impressed. I thought Zach Taylor was a terrible head coach. I thought they maybe could be better this year with a healthy Burrow and win 5 or 6 games, but I did not think they would win the AFC North. I mean, to me, they kind of came out of nowhere. Their additions on defense, like Larry Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson as a pass rusher, have just been awesome. And then on the offensive side of the ball, O-line's played better, and their skill is just really the envy of the league. I mean, who has better young skill than they do? The 3 receivers, the tight end, Uzoma, the running back, Joe Mixon, and, of course, Joe Burrow makes it all go. If I'm a Bengals fan, I'm really, really excited for this year and the future.
Russell Wilson may have played his last game in Seattle, Ross, over the weekend. Your thoughts on what could happen there? Do they blow it up? Does he leave? Does he come back? What do you think is going to happen in Seattle?
Well, it's interesting. I still think, Rick, there will be major changes there. But I suppose there's a scenario, right, where maybe the head coach is gone, but the quarterback stays. You know, the owner has a real decision to make in terms of what she wants to do moving forward. You know, she could get a new head coach that is of Russell Wilson's liking. She could give Russell Wilson more input, perhaps in the head coach and or general manager. I don't know what's going to happen there. It's going to be wild. Or she could just say, okay, Russell Wilson's out of here, but I trust Pete Carroll and John Schneider to start this thing up again, to rebuild this thing. Pete Carroll seems pretty old to be a guy at the forefront of a rebuild, but, you know, so was Belichick last year, and it appears to have gone pretty well.
What will you remember most about Ben Roethlisberger's 18 seasons in Pittsburgh?
I think he's the best I've ever seen at throwing the ball while there were defenders on him and or shucking defenders off of him and still making the play. It got to the point where defenders were told, just go for the ball. He was so hard to get down. Mm-hmm. He's such a physically big, strong dude. I mean, I think he was 265 pounds a lot of his career. And I just think guys had such a tough time getting him down. They got to the point where they just went for the ball. You know, go for the ball, and maybe he'll cradle and go down with it, because if you grab him anywhere else, the legs, the waist, he's still going to be able to throw it.
Hey, Ross, first time we've talked to you since John Madden passed. And one thing that was really obvious during his broadcasting career, and even his career as a head coach, is that he loved offensive linemen, in particular Larry Allen and Nate Newton of the Dallas Cowboys. As an offensive lineman, what did John Madden mean to you?
A lot. I mean, he just meant a lot to me in general. You know, when I think of John Madden, I think of a guy that loved football, loved food, loved people, loved life. I mean, that's how people that's what people say about me, and I'm glad they do. You know, I all those things are true for me, and they certainly were for John Madden. Maybe that's just how I am. Maybe I got some of that from watching him over the years. But I just think it's a great way to go about your life and live your life. And on top of all those things, the passion that you could hear every time he called a game, he did accentuate the line play. And he made linemen more noticeable. He made linemen more famous than they had been before him. I mean, this guy's great in every way. Every way that relates to me, he was amazing.
Ross, we'll say it again. Happy New Year. So happy to have you on board with our new show. Can't say enough about the way you contribute. Thanks so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's a blast. Love the tweets I get. Love the emails I get from your listeners. Everybody always begging me to bash Rick more. But once again, I have shown some impressive restraint on today's show. I don't want it to be obvious. You know what I mean? Rick steps in it enough times.
Hey,
I don't have to force it, right? Rick didn't do anything stupid today, which means the odds he does something stupid next week are just off the chart. If you can find a sports book somewhere that will let you bet on Rick Dollywall saying something dumb next week when I'm on the show, put your mortgage on it.
My New Year's resolution, Ross, not to say anything stupid so you don't rip me. That's it, right there in a nutshell.
Well, you've done good for the first 3 days, Rick. We'll see if you can make it 10.
Ross, thanks so much.
See you guys.
Ross Tucker of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I got here Tom Brady's quote in the wake of everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
With Antonio Brown, and he releases the rap song afterwards, and just
the taxi was in a Uber, whatever.
Yeah, listen to what he said. We all love him. This is Brady. These are Brady's words. We all love him and care about him. I think everyone should be compassionate and empathetic towards some very difficult things. And I was thinking when we were preparing the show, I was thinking, let's make some fun of that rap song, but I don't think we do.
No,
I think there are some very, very serious issues there. Okay. John Madden passes, and when we were on vacation, so our first time to talk about him, and we just did that with Ross. I mentioned how it was obvious, and John, an old offensive lineman, clearly loved old linemen in the National Football League. In particular, it seemed anyway, maybe because offensive linemen are big, but these two guys with Dallas back in the day during their championship runs of the 90s, bigger than anybody, Larry Allen and Nate Newton. And as we go to break, here's John Madden having some fun with Nate Newton.
See how heat does come out of the top of your head? Look at it, just coming off at Nate's head there. That's where it escapes. If you have heat in your body and you want to let it out, you take your hat off. Yeah. What you could do is you could have a barbecue on that head.
Nate's got a lot of room to let it out.
Yeah. I mean, you could cook like some burgers on there. Look at, now you're talking. I mean, this is football. When you got steam coming out of your head and your mouth, now you're talking football. You're controlling that offensive line. This is what it's all about. It's a